All right, let me move on to our third storyline of the day. This one comes from Smackdown. It's December 6th, a couple nights ago now when we're recording. And this is after the Intercontinental title qualifying tournament match, I guess, that Tiffany Stratton won. They cut to the commentators, and Michael Cole was getting a message that something's happening in the back. All right? So they cut to the back, Byron's there, and this time it's the Street Profits who are attacked, and they have a tag team title match against the Motor City Machine Guns later in the night. So they basically can't make it because they got fucked up, attacked, and then Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin talking to Nick Aldis, like, hey, you know how they're fighting champions, right? They're like, hey, man, those are our opponents. Who are we going to fight now? They got to have a match. You know, they want to defend the titles. They're not here to fuck around. They just come to SmackDown for no goddamn reason. You think they want to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota? Fucking freezing.
20 degree weather.
So anyways, Johnny Gargano comes up, and Johnny Gargano comes up with a great idea. He's like, well, we can take the spot. We're ready. DIY, me and Ciampa, all right? And Nick Aldis is like, wait, man, I don't know about that. And Motor City's like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. We don't care. We'll fucking fight you. You know who we are? We're Motor City Machine Guns, man. So, all right. So Ciampa and Gargano. This is another thing that's been brewing lately, kind of like the New Day, where they've been giving hints of them having dissension, and Ciampa wants to be more cutthroat, and Gargano's too nice a guy. So they're arguing during the match, and they had a little spat. I don't know if this was a work, supposed to be a work, but Gargano pushes Ciampa. I don't know if that was supposed to throw people off, as you're going to see something happens in a minute. But while Ciampa's over here distracting the ref, Gargano with a low blow, and basically the heel turn. So second heel turn of the week. I was seeing some questions online, some polls asking which was the better heel turn. That was one poll I saw.
Really?
Day or DIY.
Who the hell would ask that? Nobody would ask that.
At the time, I thought this was really good, but looking at that New Day segment again earlier, the New Day segment was definitely like fucking top class. This was not bad, but let me see.
Come on, bro.
So there's Ciampa, and they turn heel, and finally Gargano did an about face, and they're the champions now, and they're pretty. Oh, this was pretty funny. I'm gonna play this as a watch along actually when they're in the back, and Candice LeRae, Gargano's wife comes along, and Ciampa goes he wants to call his kids and tell them they're not losers. We're not losers. We're not losers. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he was saying?
Daddy's not a loser.
Oh, that's
We ain't losers.
Daddy's a genius, man. Daddy ain't a loser. Anyways, so there you go. DIY heel turn on SmackDown. Second one of the week. Second major heel turn of the week. And Street Profits didn't get their tag title shot that they were promised, and the Motor City Machine Guns, who accept any and all challenges, ended up losing their tag team championships. All right, reviews. Let's see what we got. So this was a 4-segment thing that I counted as one storyline in this show. And let's see. Let me pull up the Malapert Smark rating system. For anyone who's unfamiliar, this is how we rate how well we like whatever we're reviewing on this show. But for this one, let's see. I got Vlad with a half thumbs up. All right, so you were kind enough to at least say you kind of liked it. So you didn't not like it. Robert with a thumbs up. Robert liked it. And me with the only one with the 2 thumbs up.
Oh, what the hell, bro?
I fucking love this, bro. I love it.
What are you talking about?
This was not... It was not as good as the New Day one, but I still loved it. What do you want me to say?
Anyway, okay, all right.
Let's start with Robert this time. Robert, since you gave it a thumbs up and you liked it, you enjoyed it, so let's hear your thoughts on this whole thing.
This was cool. This is another unexpected swerve, you know, and then and okay. They needed something, you know, something interesting, just like the New Day needed something interesting. The only difference, the one big difference is New Day had their time to shine a long time ago, and then they kind of fell off a bit. So for DIY, for me, they've never really been in the spotlight at all. So maybe this will bring them to the spotlight for the tag team
As the champions.
Yeah. So okay, so here's something interesting, and yes, this is also another turn that I did not see coming. This is I don't think this is anywhere near as comparable to the New Day turn. I mean, because this was more of the traditional type of heel turn that we usually see in wrestling. The way the New Days happened was a lot more unique. It doesn't usually play out that way, right? So I don't think it's comparable. Now, yeah, and I did like this. The only thing I would have done differently if I was, a booker in WWE, I would have probably had this happen in a PLE, not on a SmackDown. But it was still cool for what it was.
Yeah, they got enough going on these PLEs. Hold on one second. I forgot that I didn't notice that I didn't change the number of the episode. None of you reminded me. Thank you so much. But it's okay. This is episode 138 of the Malapert Smark Podcast. We've had 137 of this. We've been talking wrestling for over a year now. And Vlad, I don't think you've had reviewed one Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa DIY segment the entire time. But here you go.
No, well, wait. You must
1
have.
minute and 30 seconds.
I must have at some point on SmackDown, right? Oh, you mean like?
I think they've come along in passing, but I don't think we've literally reviewed one of their segments specifically.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead, Vlad. Half thumbs up, but you were shaking your head at a lot of what Robert was saying. So let's hear what you have to say.
Well, I wouldn't say this was good or awesome. It just was. It was okay. I mean, it was an angle. I mean, I thought it was kind of predictable that Gargano was going to turn heel here. I mean, it was pretty obvious from the get-go. They kind of.
On this night, while you were watching this match on this night, you expected him to turn heel. I don't know. I was kind of surprised.
I mean, yes, because this was the title match. So if it wasn't here, when was it going to be? So if it was the title match was weeks down the line, then that's when it would have been. But I'm just saying, it was all very predictable, and I'm not really a big fan of Ciampa. I mean, I hear good things, and based on his look and his work in NXT, from what I've been told, he's very good, but I haven't seen any of that on SmackDown or anything that would make me like Ciampa. I mean, and the Motor City kind of since then, I know they're the tag team champions, but man, I don't think they've had it really look that great as far as just how they're always like, oh, we'll fight anybody, we'll do anything, oh, we'll fight. They seem demented. They seem stupid. They just seem like a couple of two jackasses, like a couple of, not like veterans that have been wrestling for 20 years, but guys that are just like rookies that just came up from NXT. Oh, we'll fight. We'll prove ourselves. What the hell are you talking about? You don't see that this is fucking suspicious? You don't see that something is coming at you?
Good points, Vlad. Excellent points. Points.
They look like I said, they looked really dumb. And I mean, with everybody, with this whole, I mean, I'm just not like in love with anybody that's involved in this thing. So that's why I gave it a kind half thumbs up, because it is an angle and it's not like I paid attention to it. And I kind of, I enjoyed certain elements of it because there's some classic wrestling to it, like Robert said. But this was, for me, it was just something that just was there, and I could take it or leave it.
All right. Last thing on the show. Oh, SmackDown. So this was from December 6th. This is KO and Cody Rhodes pull apart. So Chad Gable actually came out to defend KO and give the common notion that a lot of people think that Cody Rhodes is just not a good friend. He just takes advantage of people, uses them, and then isn't a friend afterwards. So they wanted to interview KO tonight. Michael Cole was supposed to, but KO wouldn't leave his car. So he's like, if you want to interview me, you got to come to my car. And Michael Cole had to go out in the freezing cold in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and go to Kevin Owens' car to interview him, which was pretty fucking funny. And then at the end of the show, I think Cody beat Chad Gable, and it ended up KO did end up entering the arena. Well, for some reason, Cody lost his leg, his boot. I didn't really watch the match that closely. I think he didn't
lose his leg, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he lost his boot. I'm sorry. His one leg is exposed, and then after he beats Gable, Kevin Owens shows up and does a nice little stomp on his foot. And then this turns into like a crazy pull apart with a lot of crazy images of them two screaming and yelling at each other, and all of security trying to keep them apart. And they're supposed to face off at Saturday night's main event next Saturday, I guess.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, it's like a PLE. That sounds like a PLE. But okay.
Basically,
it is.
Let's see some ratings for this. What do we got? I got 3 thumbs up from the 3 of us. So all of us like this. All right, going pretty well for Cody and KO. Any comments for you on this one, Vlad? You want to talk about Cody and KO?
Yeah, I thought most of this was good except for the stuff with KO and the messages through Twitter, and then the car interview with Cole was kind of weird. It didn't really feel.
I like the camera where it didn't feel organic because there's never going to be a camera in your car. Yeah, I know, but I still liked how it looked, honestly. But
and then he just drives off so it's like his car is parked right on the exit, and there's nobody. I don't know. It was just a weird scene. It just doesn't feel realistic, and that's the only part I didn't like. But the feud itself has been pretty cool, I thought. And then stuff at the end where after the match, he steps on his leg, his injured up leg, because he got injured during the match with Gable. All that stuff was pretty good. And I'm curious to see how they book this thing at Saturday Night Main Event. I'm wondering if they could find a way for Owens to win, because I think he kind of could use it here. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, I've been hearing people toss that around, so I think that's a possibility. But
I think that's the way it would go as long as Owens is going to be here full time. Meaning in the sense that he's actually staying with the company. I know there's some talk about his contract situation. We don't really know what the ins and outs of that. But if he's there long term, then yes, I would give him the win here.
Robert, you're the last comments of the show before we sign off today. Go ahead.
All right, I'll just keep this brief. They had a PLE match earlier in this year. I forgot which PLE, but the feud leading up to it was terrible.
Yeah.
This one is much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the Malapert Smark Podcast, episode number 138. Thank you for joining us, Vlad and Robert. We appreciate it. Let me give out some plugs, okay? I got to do some plugs here. So subscribe. Our YouTube, we're at 450, I think. We're trying to get to 500 and beyond. So please help us out there. If you like the show, you want some wrestling talk, go to our page, go to our most recent videos. We found our reviews really easy. Also, our YouTube posts. That's important. So check out our YouTube post tab. On some phones, it's called the community tab. So that's where we review every single angle. So literally every single storyline from every freaking show, me and Vlad and Robert, we will just give it a quick thumbs down or thumbs up and give some comments. So there's that. Also, my other podcast, This Week in TNA. I do that on my own. So if you're interested in TNA, that's like my practice podcast. But I like TNA too. I think it's funny. I think it's fun. So TNA, if you're interested in that, you could go look at that over there. That's also on my videos, or I think sometimes I live stream those. So you could look on the live tab, find our This Week in TNA show. So I think that's it. All right, Vlad and Robert, unless you guys have any other honorable mentions. So during our recording right now, we were reviewing the Women's Iron Survivor Last Chance qualifier, and our recording got cut off. So it didn't actually record. I'm not going to redo it with Vlad and Robert, but if you guys want to wait until after the pictures that play us out, I'm going to do that by myself, and I'll just explain to the people what happened, and I'll try to remember what Vlad said. So you guys can go to bed. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. That was This Week in AEW and WWE. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, we're making headway here for the channel, so I think it's going well. So